Good morning, boys and girls. Today I am going to tell you the parable of the talents. Let me say that again. It's called the parable of the talents. And what happens is that a master of a house, a very rich master, calls in 3 of his servants and tells them, I'm going on a journey. But before I go away, I'm going to entrust to you some of my property. And so he takes out not just property, but he takes out some money and he gives to each of the servants. And to the first one, he gives 500 talents. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was a lot of money. And to the next one, he gives 2 talents. And to the final one, he gives 1 talent. And he says, I'm going on a journey, going on a vacation, going on a trip, and you just put that money to work, and when I get back, I will see where we're at. We'll settle accounts then. And so the man loads up, goes on a trip, and is gone for a long time. And the one who had 5 talents, he put it to work. And I don't know what he invested in. Maybe he invested in some fishing boats. Who knows? But you know what? He made 5 more. This guy, he had 2 talents, and I don't know what he invested in. Maybe he invested in some cattle or a vineyard. But he made 2 more. But the last one, you know what he did? He had 1 talent. He said, I don't know. I'm going to mess this up for sure. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to take my one talent. I'm just going to dig a hole and bury it. Well, finally the master comes back and it is time to settle accounts, and he says, tell me what you did. And this one comes forward and says, well, master, you gave me 5, but guess what? I got 5 more. And he said, and the master says, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Enter into the joy of your master. Well, the other one, the Lord, the master, calls the second one and said, how did you do? He says, well, master, you gave me 2, and I now have 4. And the Lord, the master, says, well done, thou good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over a few. I'll make you over a lot. Welcome into the joy of the Lord. Well, then finally the last one comes up and talks to the king and to the Lord, and he says, well, I buried it. And the king looks at him and says, what? What are you thinking? He says, well, I knew that you were a hard and stern master, that you have sown where you have not reaped, you have gotten where you have not even planted. And so the king is mad. He says, shouldn't you have at least taken that talent and put it in the bank and got interest? You know what? Take what he has and give it to one of the other guys, and you're cast into outer darkness where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. That's the parable. You know what the meaning of it is? The meaning is that the Lord has given to us, and that we are to put what the Lord has given us into service. And know what He's given to us? He's given to us all of our talents. He's given to us everything that we have. And we're putting it into service because right now, it's like the man was on the trip that Lord, that master, and the servants put their stuff, he wants us to put our stuff into service. Put your talents into service for the good of your neighbor, for the glory of God. Know that God has been generous to you, and that someday, when the Lord comes back, he's going to call us into account. What have you done? You know what we're going to find out? We're going to find out that Jesus was, in the end, the ultimate and best servant there ever was. Because you know what Jesus did? He invested 100% in us. All of it. Everything that could ever be invested. I'm holding up money. He didn't invest money in us. You know what he invested? Everything he ever could. He invested himself 100% into us to make us good and faithful servants. Well, that is the parable of the talents. You take care, and the Lord be with you all.